Hello, everyone. I wanted to create a short video for you all showing you how to create your animated welcome screens. I like to call them attract screens because I do explain to my customers that this will be a screensaver for when the booth is not in use. So um, we all know too well if it's a wedding or a quinceanera or a sweet 16, they generally do have a break for speeches and things of that nature. So this is just always something that is the first thing that they see when they approach the booth. And this is a screensaver for when the booth is not in service. As I when I started this, I created it because it was just a learning curve. I was learning Lumabooth, and somehow I created a video and was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I'll keep it as a screensaver. So that's exactly what I did, and I now offer it to my customers. This is something that you can either choose to use as a upsell for your customer, to show that you're able to do a bit of customization for, again, a wedding, but basically for all your events, but specifically for weddings, quinceaneras, and sweet 16s. I get them a lot, and a lot of them tend to be like this um, fairy tale theme, and so I like to use that now. You can use this for photos. You can animate photos in Canva. You can animate invitations, believe it or not. There's just so many things that you can do with this. So the sky is the limit. So let's get started. We're going to come over to Canva, which I already am. This is the end result. And you all liked that. So I want to show you how to do it. What you're going to need first is you're going to need to know the dimensions of your iPad in order to create the design. So the dimensions of my iPad is 1620 by 2160 pixels. So you would type that in here. And once you all, as you know, start creating several designs, your most recent measurements are saved here. So you can just come back to it and use it over and over again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new design. Now, what I want to show you first is the base design. So this I when I'm creating these, I love a lot of movement to happen, and to just to really drill down more onto the theme to give it a little bit more personalization, something that's just really cool. So again, this is a fairy tale theme, and let's just say for this purposes of this video that it's Tiffany's Sweet 16. Okay, I like to first come up here and I like to give it a title. Okay, now it has a title. I'm going to come over and I'm going to start to my elements here. And I'm going to look for, I know that I want to use pink roses, pink flowers. So I'm going to do a search for pink flowers. Okay, I'm going to head straight to video. And for the video that you all liked, I'm just going to continue to use those same elements. So this is the video that I used for that example that you all liked. So I just wanted again to show it here. I want to bring your attention to here. You see that says 29 seconds. It's pretty long. And the reason that I'm bringing up the duration of the video is because if you have several elements that you're going to add to this design and you want to animate them all, this 29 seconds might slow down or even stop animation on a few of your elements. I don't know that for sure, but again, I've been doing this for a long time and I've noticed when you add several different elements to your design, and if this video is quite long, it's kind of taken away of what those elements, how many of those elements can be animated. It may not affect it too much, but kind of keep in mind, generally, if I knew that a large portion of this was going to be several different elements, like we're talking 5 or 6, and I want the text that I'm going to add to be animated, and maybe let's say another element fly across the top of it, you want to kind of can keep this at a low duration. But for now, for this video, we're going to use this because that's what was used in the base design. Okay. And so I want to also show you that if you would ever want to use this again, you can go up to those three dots here. You'll see the name of this element, and then you can add it to a folder, or you can create a folder here. But I have started one for the purposes of this video. It's called Fancy Details, and I simply added the flowers to this because I particularly like this. I do a lot of pinks, I do a lot of pastels. So again, start normalizing putting your elements that you use a lot and that are really, detailed and different. Put them in a folder so that you're able to find them again. Okay. So getting back to our design, I'm going to go ahead and hit the three dots there, scroll down, and I'm going to see this, set video as background. So that is just a really quick tutorial to show you how to set your base design as a video. So when we play this, there's ever so slight movement. It's subtle, but it's very beautiful, and it gives the base of your design, again, more movement. If you're going to animate, go all out for the customer, and it's very simple to go over and type these things in, find them, and be able to bring them back and start your design. So that's how you find your base design. And now I'm going to go over to the design that I did previously. Okay, again, this is just a design that I made beforehand to show you all exactly what the finished product looks like. And this is going to go kind of quickly. So here I'm going to add a page here so that I'm able to show you exactly how I was able to create all of this. Okay, so first things first, this is My Sweet 16. This is a fairy tale theme. We're going to go over to our elements, which is so important to us. And I'm going to type in open book because I wanted to give it the feel of a fairy tale. So I'm going to open book and hit enter. See all. And you're going to have a long list of these. So you want to look for something that resonates with you. I particularly like this one. And so I select it. Okay. Now that's centered. We can check that by hitting the three dots. We're going to go to align, center. When the center is grayed out, that means that it is centered on the page. Now for this to give it a bit more of a real book, a really, great open book, you can kind of see that it's there, but I want an exaggerated open book. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to type in rectangle. And your shapes are your friends here. So you want to look for rectangle. You can either go all the way over here to shapes. Shapes is here, shapes. And we can select that. And as you can see, it's going to bring over a square, but these two here allow you to make them longer. So let's check if that's the same size. Need it to be a little bit taller than the book itself, the book pages. I'm going to need two of those. Actually, let's see if we can. Let's see if that's going to be too exaggerated. We'll bring it. We're going to bring the book pages forward. You have to do it again over here. Okay, so now that sits on top of those rectangles. So now it doesn't really fit. So we can take the rectangles and we can make them a bit smaller. So they're not so big. And we can bring them a bit wider out. And we're going to want to do that to the other side. Okay. Now we might want to bring this over just a tad because on the right hand side it's a bit bigger on the right hand side. So maybe we can select it here, bring it out just a little So this would be the center of our book. Just to make sure that we're centered, we're going to check here. Okay. So I wanted to also make the book look very fancy. So I remembered old time books. I went over and I found out what the book corners look like. So those gold book corners that you usually see on books that are older books, antiques, um, they're called book corners or book protectors. Let's see here. Yep, came right up. This is the graphic that I like. And anytime that I've seen them, they've always been gold. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make it this gold here. And it's kind of like a chrome gold here. And it's in my kind of, my, the colors that I like to use a lot. So it's there. So let's test it here and see what it looks like on the edge of the book. Fits perfect. I'm going to need 3 more of those. Oops. All right, so we're going to use that tool to kind of bring that over 190 degrees. I'll move it up on the corner. We're going to do the same to this one. We're going to swivel that around till it's straight. Trying to record. So now we're going to move this over. Bring this in like this. Kind of sit it right on the corner. Let's see where that last one went. So I did 3, so let's make 1 more. I thought maybe I did 1 and it fell off. I can't see it, so I went there to see where it went. So we're gonna make this fit as well. Gonna bring that in. Just bring it in so that it fits on the page. It fits on the bottom of the page. Okay, this one needs to be brought in just a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we have our book. It's more square than it is rectangle right now, but this is to show you that you can use these elements here, shapes, and other elements to make a cohesive design. So right now that I've put all of that and done all of that work, what I want to do now is to group these so I don't have to continuously move each individual space. So if you saw what I did there, I clicked here right above it and I took my mouse and I just hovered over this. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me this option to group. And I want to group it. Okay. So I can ungroup it, move it around, move it up, bottom. But we're going to bring it here for the moment in the center. And again, you can check that by going here, align to page, and the center is mapped out. So we're going to go back to the video that we found, and we're going to go ahead and put in pink flowers. We're going to head back to video. Remember, this is the video that we used. We're going to simply click that onto the page. We want this to be the setting of the background. So we're going to hit those 3 dots again, scroll down and set background. Okay. Now, as you can see, book is on top, video is in the back. So let's finish building our fairy tale for our Sweet 16. So now I want to add some embellishments to the book itself. I want to give it that fairy tale feel. So I'm going to go over to the uploads where the customer actually gave me the template that she wanted me to use for the Sweet 16. So this is, you know, what you generally see a lot in fairy tale books. And she sent that to me. So what I need to do now in order to add it to my design, it has a background. So I'm going to go up to background removal, take the background out. And then you can see that it is centered on the page for me. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. And the next elements, because this is a fairy tale, I'm going to look for a castle. And we're going to go here and we're going to search for the perfect castle. Okay, something that resonates with you, something that will resonate with the customer, and you will know all of that either by listening to the customer, jotting down things. We like to use a pre-event questionnaire where we gather design information, what they like. So let's come here and find a really cute castle that we might be able to use. For the purposes of this video, let's just choose. I don't want it to be too big. I don't want it to be too small either. And I want it to kind of have um, a silhouette so I can change the color of the castle to something that I like. So I'm looking for something basically black and white, maybe. Let's go with this one. Let's see if I'm able to change the color. And I am. I'm able to change the color. So let's go ahead and make this a bit smaller by dragging this in. I'm going to bring it over here. And that pink line in the middle means that I'm fairly centered with the other page. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to turn it to a gold. As you can see, it turns it to a gold. Yeah, I like the other gold first. So let's make it just a little bit bigger, maybe to match the writing on the opposite page. Okay, there, set. Now we have that. Now let's think about, how we can make the book prettier. I want to find maybe some more flowers. We're going to scroll down until we find something that we really, really like. Let's see. Something like a bunch of flowers that we'll be able to add maybe to the top of the book. Here we go. I kind of like that. Just looks just like that. We're going to put that at the top here. We can even flip this vertical. There we go. So it's right upside. I kind of like that. So now I'm going to also look for grass with flowers. And right off the bat, I see what I like. I like this here. And again, you're building a story. You're building a fairy tale story here. So be very creative. So we want to add it right here, like it's at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to duplicate that so it also fits on the other side. And you can take these and extend them a little bit so they actually kind of meet the bottom of the page. And let's see what that looks like. That looks good. So I'm going to bring it over just a little bit so it meets the end of that page. And again, you can play with this. You can make it more center, but for the purposes of the video, I just want to show you that these are individual elements. Now, again, because you made this an entire design, I want to go ahead again and select all of this because you added grass, you added wording, you added flowers, and you want to now group this again. Now I'm able to take this and move it up, move it down, side to side, whatever you like. For right now, let's keep it here because I want to finish the design, okay? Now let's add our text. So this is Tiffany's Sweet 16. Okay. And I want that above. Let's bring it up here. We can see that it's centered. Let's take the book and bring it down just a little bit so we can play with this. So we're going to go here and kind of play with this. I want it to be one line, so we're going to go with that. Now, if I wanted to make this text the same text as this, I found out that this text is called Wedding Text Regular. So we can take that and have it have, that same feel. Try to make these elements match, the wording that they may have given you. And, just make it that extra special. So I love pink. I'm a pink girl. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this text to a hot pink. And if I wanted that to stand out just a bit more, I'm going to go over to Effects, which is here on your toolbar. We're going to go to Outline, and you see how dark that makes it. So I want it to be readable. Just bring it down just a little bit so I'm able to see it. I think I like that. I'll bring this up just a little bit. Again, if you needed to check where everything was on the page, you want to go here to position and layers, and then you're kind of able to see everything. This would be our grouped element, which is the book. But if I wanted to select that, the text, then you would see that. Even if I wanted to move it without moving it on the page, I could do this, so that I'm able to work with the group. Let's go back here, and I want to add two more elements. I'm going to go to element. I'm going to go to my uploads, and I'm going to look for the owl. The owl. I don't need to remove anything on him. He's a cartoon that I found online. And I actually want him to be animated and move across the screen. So I'll show that to you in a minute. But let's finish adding. Let's try adding another element. Let's say we wanted to select this little squirrel from the fairy tale. It was Princess Aurora. And so I'm going to remove the background, and you see how it did that? I actually used him in her actual photo template. So her photo template, when I'm designing, I try to make the template match the welcome screen or the attract screen. So I shouldn't say welcome, because the welcome screen is actually what houses the photo booth buttons. So that page that we all use. So I like to call this the attract screen. So if I wanted to use him and I wanted to maybe animate him, I'm going to go ahead and put him down here at the bottom somewhere. You can add things, subtract things. Let's keep him here for right now. Bring this up a bit. And let's begin animating. So I want the owl to pan across the screen. So when you hit animate, it's going to give you these options here. I like the owl. When you actually have your mouse hover over them, you're able to see the movement. So look very closely. So if I hit white, you see it slightly showed you what the animation would look like. If I wanted him to pop, he popped on the screen. So, but I want him to kind of drift across. And the one that I love to use is the tectonic. You see how slowly he's moving across? Let's use tectonic for this. And it's really cool because you're able to increase the intensity on it as much as you like. More, less, So let's see. I have him about middle. Okay. And then if I wanted the book to do something, I could have it kind of crawl onto the page. I could have it stomp onto the page. Let's use that because it's pretty bold and you can see it. I'm going to take my little squirrel guy and I'm going to take him away. When I want to animate text, you're going to also go back to animate, and I love to use clarify. And when you use clarify, look how slowly it approaches on the screen, and it just gives it a bit more drama. Okay, so I'm going to use, even if you use spread is a good one as well. It spreads it across the page. Okay. But again, I love clarify. So let's go ahead and go with clarify. Again, you're able to kind of calibrate the speed and the movement here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to keep the speed about where it is, but I want the actual animation to happen when the screen enters and on exit. So it will be a continuous movement. Okay. So that's where we're going to set it. We're going to come over here and move our owl, because as you can see, it was kind of in the way of the word spreading. And then we're going to make sure that this text is centered. our group is centered. You want to always make sure that that's correct. You can check it here as well. When you align the page, the center is blocked out so that you know that it's centered. Okay. And for one small thing that will give this a bit more pizzazz, and you all saw it in the original video or demonstration, was I'm going to look for sparkler, and this is perfect. It kind of gives it that finished touch that you need. So I'm going to select it here. And again, if you want to know the name of something, just go here and select the three dots on the actual element and it will tell you what it is. And I added it to my fancy details. Add to filter, and that way you're able to go to it again. So see here, this is actually hovered over the book. If I wanted to position it a little bit more, or if I wanted to make it bigger, larger, I could do that. Okay, you can play with it, play with the corners, bring it out a little bit. And it just gives it that finishing touch. So if I wanted to play this, and that kind of looks like our original, if I wanted to play this, let me hit play. And you can see the owl moving when the video began and as it comes to an end. Okay. So let me go back out and I want to remove an animation. We're going to hit animate. I am hovered over the book. I no longer want it to be animated. So I'm going to scroll down and I selected that it pop onto the screen. Let's see here. When you click on it, it'll tell you what the animation is. So the sparkler is there. Let's move the sparkler, but let's select the book. When we hit animate, I believe it was scrapbook. Yeah, it was scrapbook. So scrapbook, remove animation. And then when you click on it again, you see that it says animate. That means that the animation has been removed. And if you want to animate it, you can go back and select whichever one that you liked, okay? So for the purposes of this, I just wanted to show you how to animate and how to remove an animation, okay? So we're going to click off. We're going to grab this sparkler. We're going to put it back in the center. It hovers over. We're going to play this again so that you're able to see all of the animation. You can do that on the page, or you can go up here, select play. Well, it didn't remove the animation. One moment. So, and guys, this is my first video, so please bear with me. So I'm going to go to position. I'm going to make sure that I am on the book. We're going to go to animate. We're going to remove animation. It was stomp, actually. Okay. Now, when we click on it, it says animate. That means the animation has been removed. Now let's play this again so we can see it in as a final product. So you see my owl is drifting across and he's drifting back and forth because I made the animation on enter and on exit. So for the duration of this, he kind of moves. And then our Tiffany Sweet 16 came in as a clarification. So it's really nice. I removed the animation on the book, and the sparkler was already an animated element, which just added a bit more pizzazz that you didn't have to do anything to because it's already a moving element. So what we'll do now is when you want to then upload this to Lumabooth, you're going to go share. You're going to select download. It is important that it's an MP4 video. And if you're doing this from your iPad, you again want to make sure that it's an MP4 video, and then you want to download, and on the iPad you're going to save to files, and then you're going to name it whatever you named your event, so that you're easily able to find it. And when you get over to Lumabooth, you're going to go to your virtual assistant. You're going to select, at the top on the right corner, I believe, there's a place for you to enter this MP4. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to create that actual file. It'll be there. And when you launch your event, that should be the first screen that you see. The second screen is the welcome screen. And as you know, again, that's where that's where the photo button and the boomerang button and the gift buttons, whatever button you like to add to your event, will be on that welcome screen. And I like to also say that that does create another screen that you would want to design if you wanted to. And again, this is all you and what you're willing to do and what you discuss with your customer. But if that welcome screen um, needed to also be designed, let's look for fairy tale. Let's just look for something, that a 16-year-old might like. And we can just keep it very simple. But you'll get the just. Let's use this here. And let's type in dreams do come true. Okay. Bring it to the top, bring this to the center. You want to keep in mind that your buttons will be here. You can place them anywhere on the screen you like. So just be mindful that your design is, and wording is up here so that you have ample room for the bottom. And let's just make this a pastel, pretty pink. Okay, let's, for the purposes of the length, go ahead and select it. Again, you're going to scroll and set as background. Let's change this to match the font that we used. Okay. Let's center this. Center. Let's center this. Centered. Okay. We can make that bigger. You can make that smaller if you like. Okay. And then just keep in mind, down here, you would place your buttons. And that would be the end. So that's your attract screen and your welcome screen, all centered around a Sweet 16 theme. And it's a fairy tale. So these two would work for both of those. This is my first video, as I stated. Please be kind. I wanted to just show you all that this is what's possible. Again, you and your customer will decide, or you will decide what's best for your business, whether you want to charge for this. Um, if a lot of us start putting a lot of work into these, then I would say yes. There's nothing wrong with charging for the work that you do, especially if you're actually creating and designing templates for your customers, and you actually um, do upsell that. So this might be more income for you all. I hope that it was helpful. Again, this is my first one. Be nice. I just wanted to record this so that you all could see how easy it is. And again, sky's the limit. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Thank you.